Hello children, today we are going to discuss a topic which is repeated very often, that is terrestrial magnetism. We all know that Earth behaves as a giant bar magnet, right? And this is what exactly we are going to study. You see, we come across many situations, many observations which clearly tell us that Earth behaves as a magnet, right? And today we know that there are so many devices that we cannot do without. They all are working on magnetic property of Earth. Let's see a few examples. If you take a magnet and you suspend the magnet freely, suppose I have a magnet here and the magnet is pivoted, this is a rope and here you have a magnet, and the magnet is pivoted here, right, and suspended, you will find the magnet will start what? Rotating, and this will continue till it aligns itself with geographic north-south line. The magnet will continue to move. When I am saying free to move, means it can move in the horizontal plane, at the same time it can move in the vertical plane also. We find this magnet becomes stationary only after it aligns itself with the magnetic field. It becomes something like this. It does not exactly align, but then it is oriented at a very small angle with respect to the geographic north-south line. We will find that the north pole of the magnet here points towards geographical north and the south pole points towards the geographical south, and there is a small angular deviation out here which is about 11.8 degrees, roughly between 11 to 12 degrees, and this angle what keeps changing. Nevertheless, this angle is very small. So the first experiment that tells us that Earth is a magnet, in fact is evident from this experiment that a freely suspended magnet will always point along north-south direction when it stops. And we know that a lot of practical devices, in fact every compass in the world which is made works on this principle, Earth's magnetism. The GPS devices work on the principle of magnetism. GPS is so much an integral part of the life today. You want to search your location, you are going to use what? GPS. GPS will tell you where you are, right? It is also based on Earth's magnetism. So we conclude therefore from this experiment that Earth acts as a giant magnet, right? Now, if you take a piece of iron, for example an iron nail, and bury it deep inside the earth for some time, when you take it out, you find that iron bar has got what? Magnetized. And this will happen, children. This will happen only when there is another magnet which is being used to magnetizing this iron bar, and that is obviously the magnetism of Earth, right? So Earth acts as a giant magnet. This is called what? Earth's magnetism. And study of Earth's magnetism is called terrestrial magnetism. Okay? Is called terrestrial magnetism. So children, Earth acts as a giant bar magnet. This phenomenon is called Earth's magnetism. Earth exhibits magnetic property, and study of Earth's magnetism is called what? Terrestrial magnetism. Now children, whenever you suspend a magnet, suppose this is a piece of magnet, I suspend it freely, I find that its north pole starts pointing towards what? Geographic north, and so south pole points along what? Geographic south. Initially you turn and you align along what? North-south direction, not exactly in the north-south direction, but a certain angle. Now let us see, north pole is pointing towards north. What does it mean? It means the north pole is being attracted by what? A south pole, right? And that south pole is of what? Earth. Otherwise, north pole will not align towards geographical north. Therefore, we say that south pole of Earth's magnetism is pointing towards geographical north. Very important for you to remember that south pole of Earth's magnetic field is pointing towards geographical north, and the north pole of Earth's magnetic field is pointing towards geographical south. On the basis of this, now children, let's understand a few key terms. What exactly is happening? We know that Earth is like what? A sphere. Correct? This is geographic north-south line. Correct? This is great circle. Whose diameter is oriented along a line which is perpendicular to what? Geographic north-south line, and this is called geographic equator. What do you call it? Geographic equator. And this is geographic north south line. We can also call it what? Geographic north south axis. Now Earth's magnetic field is directed something like this. The south pole of Earth's magnetic field is directed towards geographic north. We write SM. SM means south magnetic, and this is NM, north magnetic. South pole of Earth's magnetic field is pointing towards north, geographic north, and north pole of Earth's magnetic field is pointing towards south. So we can imagine as if a giant bar magnet has been inserted inside what? Earth. Right? So this is how the magnetic field lines are pointing away. Going away from the north and into the south. This is how the lines will come out. Right? They are entering out here. So this axis along which the magnetic north and south poles are oriented, this is called magnetic axis. This line is called magnetic axis. And if we draw a perpendicular to this magnetic axis, then this perpendicular is called magnetic equator. Magnetic equator. So when we have this geographic north-south axis, we find that Earth's magnetic field is pointing at a certain angle. This variable angle, it is between 11 to 12 degrees roughly, and varies from one place to another. South polar magnetic field is pointing close to geographic north, and north polar magnetic field is pointing close to the geographic south. So if I suspend this magnet freely, which is free to move vertically and also horizontally, then you can see that this bar magnet is going to experience a torque because of what? Because of this magnetic field produced by the giant bar magnet which I am assuming inside Earth, and it will turn, rotate till it aligns itself with the what? The geographic north-south, the magnetic north-south line. So the north pole of the magnetic is pointing towards what? Magnetic south, and magnetic south is towards what? Geographic north. So we say that north pole of the magnet will be seeking what? Geographic north, and south pole will be seeking geographic south. right? This line passing through the magnetic north-south line is called magnetic axis, and the line which is drawn perpendicular to it is called magnetic equator. So make sure you understand this chart. Okay. Now children, we are going to see reason for Earth's magnetism. There are many factors being attributed to Earth's magnetism. It started with the physicist called Gilbert, and then many theories came. The current theory of Earth's magnetism says that temperature at the core of the Earth is extremely high, and then there are ferromagnetic materials like iron, nickel deposited at the what? Core of the Earth. At this high temperature, these metals exist in what? Molten state. They cannot exist in solids, they exist as what? Molten state. And because the Earth is rotating, these molten metals contain what? Agitated ions, and these ions also start moving along with Earth. As these ions move inside the core of the Earth, they set up what? Ionic currents, very strong ionic currents. You know, whenever there is a current, it produces a magnetic field. So it is because of the currents being set up inside Earth due to motion of charged particles that we are seeing this magnetic property being exhibited by Earth. Clear? So the current theory says that Earth's magnetic field is due to the presence of large number of what? Large amount of molten metals at the core of Earth, right? And this is happening because temperature of the core of Earth is very high, and as these ions are set into what? Motion, they produce what? Very large circulating currents, and therefore a magnetic field is produced. Remember, we have already done magnetic effects of current. When a charge moves, it produces magnetic field, or in other words, when current is flowing, it produces magnetic field. That is what is happening. Okay? Metals at the core. So here, magnetic field of Earth is due to circulation of large currents caused by ions in molten metals at the core of Earth. So this is the reason. At the core of Earth, temperature is extremely high. So metals exist in what? Molten state, and they have highly agitated ions due to high temperature. When these ions are set into motion, then they produce what? Large currents, and therefore magnetic field is being produced. So this is the reason, and this magnetic field is very important for us. Let's understand once again. The south pole of Earth's magnetic field is pointing towards what? Geographic north, and the north pole of Earth's magnetic field pointing towards geographic what? South, right? So whenever we suspend a magnet freely, suppose this is a magnet, this is north and this is south. So north pole will be attracted by what? South pole of Earth's magnetic field. So north points like this, and south points away, right? North is pointing towards north and south is pointing towards south. So this is what is happening. Clear? Okay. Now, children, once you have understood this, there are certain more terms you will be understanding. Key terms. Once you have understood this, then there are certain key terms you will be understanding. First one, children, we have is geographic meridian. Geographic meridian. What is geographic meridian? You see, children, this is geographic north-south, right? Now imagine I draw a plane here. Clear? I draw a plane here. You can imagine this plane will pass through the geographic north-south poles, and also it will be perpendicular. We can imagine like this. Suppose this is Earth, this is north, geographic north, and this is geographic south. If I draw a plane like this, which is perpendicular to the geographic north-south line and contains the geographic north and south poles, then this plane is called geographic meridian, right? So geographic meridian is a plane which contains geographic north-south and is perpendicular to the what? The north-south axis. Okay, let's see here. So geographic north-south line is called geographic meridian. Geographic meridian. So you can see a plane which is perpendicular to geographic axis and passes through geographic what? North-south line is called geographic meridian. I can imagine like this. This plane, not like this, like this. You can see this plane is perpendicular to geographic north-south line, right? So it becomes geographic meridian. Once again, we can show with a smaller diagram. This is geographic north-south. Now, if I imagine this plane, you can see it's perpendicular to the geographic north-south axis. And it's containing these two what? Poles also. So it becomes geographic meridian. Right? Once answer geographic meridian, children, will you defining what is magnetic meridian? Just the same way, this is what? Magnetic axis. If I draw another plane like this, which is containing the magnetic north and south poles and is perpendicular to the what? North-south line, then it's called what? Magnetic meridian. So this is geographic meridian and this is magnetic meridian. You can see that the two planes actually what? Inclined with respect to each other. So once you have understood what is geographic meridian, we will be defining what is magnetic meridian. Is called magnetic meridian. So children, magnetic meridian is very similar to geographic meridian. The only difference is the geographic meridian contains the geographic north-south. Magnetic meridian contains what? Magnetic north-south. Clear? So we understood these two key terms. First one is geographic meridian, and now we did what? Magnetic meridian. Now we will be answering two more terms. One is declination, then we will be understanding dip, and then we will be understanding what is horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field, right? So if we want to have complete information, let me tell you that Earth's magnetic field is a very precise property of Earth. Even if you go through a small distance on the surface of Earth, then there are certain characteristics of magnetic field which will change. So it's like signature of a place, right? Just like you want to know about a person and you want to have some data. Similarly, if you want to have complete information about Earth's magnetic field at a certain point, then there are certain key terms that we need to know as important piece of information. And in fact, these are called elements of Earth's magnetic field. So we are going to discuss the next thing, which is elements of Earth's magnetic field. Okay? Quantity which are required to elements of Earth's magnetic field. Children, you can copy down all these definitions. Quantities which are required to completely define Earth's magnetic field at a point are called elements of Earth's magnetic field. If I want to have a complete information about Earth's magnetic field at a certain point, then we need to know certain parameters, we need to know certain quantities, and these quantities are called elements of Earth's magnetic field. And children, there are three elements of Earth's magnetic field. One is called declination, the short form for angle of declination or angle of declination. and we'll prefer to denote it by alpha. This is the first element of Earth's magnetic field. We'll be defining, actually we'll understand what exactly is this. And the second quantity is dip. We call it what? Dip or angle of dip. And the third one is horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Magnetic field. We denote it by BH. If you don't like to write BH, you can just write what? Capital H also is accepted. So there are three quantities which are required for defining Earth's magnetic field at a point. First one is called declination. Second one is called what? Dip. And the third one is known as what? Horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. We will be understanding all these things. Now the first thing we are going to understand is what is the angle of declination or simply declination. Okay. Now children, the first element of Earth's magnetic field is declination or angle of declination. Children, we have already known that there are two meridians. One is called geographic meridian and the other one is what? Magnetic meridian. And we know that these two meridians are never along the same line. They are always oriented at a certain angle. So at any given place, the angle between geographic meridian and magnetic meridian is called angle of declination or simply what? Declination. Imagine at a certain place, suppose this is a magnetic meridian. Remember, whenever I will suspend the magnet freely, it will always try to come and rest in this plane. Right? And this is geographic meridian. This is geographic meridian and this plane is magnetic meridian. And children, angle between these two planes here, this angle is called declination. Clear? So at a given place, angle between geographic meridian and magnetic meridian is called what? Is known as declination or simply angle of declination. Okay, let's define. Is called declination, and declination will have different values at different places. Clear? Now once we understand declination, the next thing we'll be understanding is dip. Second thing is dip or angle of dip. Let's see what is angle of dip or simply what? Dip. Symbol is delta. So children, if I suspend a magnet freely, then this magnet will rotate and first try to come into the what? Magnetic meridian. Now we understand this is geographic meridian, this is the magnetic meridian, and this is the plane which is containing the what? Earth's magnetic field. Right? So whenever we will suspend a magnet freely, we will find that magnet will become stationary at a certain angle with the horizontal. Suppose this is how the magnet becomes what? Stationary. This is north pole of the magnet and this is south pole of the magnet. right? So when we suspend a magnet freely, then the magnet will continue to rotate till it locates itself in the magnetic meridian, and finally it will turn till it becomes parallel with what? Earth's magnetic field, right? This is, suppose, magnetic meridian, or this is magnetic meridian. Suppose one plane I will take. Suppose this is magnetic meridian. This plane is containing the magnetic north-south poles. So the magnet will try to first align what? First try to bring it into this plane. And once it comes into this plane, then it will try to align itself with the what? Try to align itself with the Earth's magnetic field. Two things happening. It is rotating and coming into the magnetic meridian, and then it is dipping. This is why we call it what? Dip. Dips, bends downwards, and when it is in equilibrium, then it makes a certain angle with the horizontal. So this is the horizontal line, and this is the angle it is making. So this angle is called what? Angle of dip, or simply we call it dip, meaning angle made by a freely suspended magnet with the horizontal is known as angle of dip. If you suspend a magnet and become stationary in this position, draw horizontal line and measure this angle. Whatever angle it is making with the horizontal, this angle is called what? Angle of dip, or simply we call it dip. You can take this angle, you can take what? This angle. Both are actually same. Angle made by the magnet with the horizontal direction. There are two directions. This is horizontal, this is vertical. It's called angle of dip. Now the question is, what is the significance of angle of dip? Actually, children, angle of dip shows, mark my words, angle of dip shows the direction of Earth's magnetic field at a given place with the horizontal. Now why I am saying Earth's magnetic field? Because you know that this magnet is going to rotate till it becomes parallel to what? Earth's magnetic field. Clear? So it will come into the magnetic meridian and then it will dip. So by whatever angle it is dipping, this is called what? Angle of dip. Clear? So let's define what is angle of dip. Field at a given point. So if somebody will ask what is significance of dip, then what I will say? Dip shows the orientation of or direction of Earth's magnetic field with the horizontal direction at a given point. Clear? Now the question is, what is the value of dip at the poles and at the equator? You should know that at the poles dip will be how much? 90. At the poles, what is the value of angle of dip? 90. And at the equator, delta will be how much? 0. So it is important for you to know, at the poles it will be 90 degree and at the equator it will be 0 degree. This should be kept in mind. So we understood what is dip. Now let's understand like this. Suppose the magnet becomes stationary in this position. This is how the magnet becomes stationary, for example. Right? And this is the horizontal line. So this will be the dip. Or this will be the dip. Clear? Dipping with respect to the horizontal line is called what? Angle of dip. The minimum value can be 0 and the maximum can be how much? 90. At the poles it will be 90 and at the equator, the magnetic equator will be how much? 0. Okay. Now I will be seeing third element, horizontal component of of Earth's magnetic field. Horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. We denote it by BH or H also. Children, as the name implies, suppose at a given place, this is direction of Earth's magnetic field BE, right? So if you put a compass, this is how the compass will point, and suppose angle with horizontal is delta, right? You can separately draw it once again. This is BE at what angle with horizontal? Delta. So component of Earth's magnetic field along the horizontal direction here is called horizontal component of Earth, and written as what? BH. Clear? So we can define horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field is component of Earth in the horizontal direction. If I use a vector resolution and say if BE cos delta, so this should be borne in mind. If Earth's magnetic field at a place is BE, then horizontal component BH will be equal to B cos delta, right? And delta you know is what? Angle of dip at a given place. Clear? So let's see what will be the components of Earth's magnetic field in the horizontal direction at the equator and at the poles. Special cases. Number one, at the poles. Children, at the poles, how much is delta? 90. And how much is cos 90? 0. So what will be BH at the poles? B into 0 is equal to how much? 0. And number 2 we have at the equator. At the equator, children, delta equals how much? 0. And cos 0 is equal to 1. So BH will be same as BE. This will be kept in mind. So here BH is equal to 0 at the poles, and at the equator BH is equal to how much? B, right? Now once you understand it, we will try to seek a relation between the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field, the vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, right, in terms of angle of dip. Okay, let's say this. Then we are going to discuss for mathematical problems relation between BH, the horizontal component, BV, the vertical component, and BE, which is total intensity of Earth's magnetic field. Suppose at a given place, children, Earth's magnetic field is directed at angle delta with horizontal. Now what does it mean? It means at a given place angle of dip is delta. Now there are two components. One is horizontal component BH, which is B cos delta, and the other one is vertical component BV, which is equal to B sin delta, which you know by resolving components of B along horizontal and vertical directions. So I will be writing here horizontal component BH is equal to B cos delta, and the vertical component BV is equal to B sin delta, right? If I square and add equation 1 and 2 and add equations 1 and 2. Then what do you get, children? bh square plus bv square is equal to b square into cos square delta plus sin square delta. And you know that cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to how much? 1. So we conclude b square is equal to bh square plus bv square. And if you take square root, then how much is b, children? Square root of bh square plus bv square. So this is one relation which will be very important. If any two quantities are given and you need to find the third quantity, you can always use this equation. Now, if I divide equation 2 by equation 1, divide equation 2 by equation 1. If you divide, then bv by bh is equal to, children, we have b sin delta divided by b cos delta. You can cancel out this. Sin by cos is how much? Tan. So tan delta equals to bv by bh. This is an important relation, and delta will be equal to tan inverse of bv by bh. So this is the relationship between bv, bh and delta, the tip. Many times this will prove to be very handy again for d numericals. Okay, let's say this. Neutral points. Now what is neutral point, children? Neutral points are important what? Results that show that earth actually acts as a magnet. Now each and every bar magnet has a certain magnetic field, right? But when I place a bar magnet in a certain position and with the help of a compass I go about the magnet testing the intensity of magnetic field with the bar magnet, I will find that at some points the magnetic field does not exist. Suppose this is a magnet, I will use a compass and go around it testing whether there is a point at which the magnetic field is not present. So I will find inevitably there are some points, maybe along equatorial line, maybe along the axial line, or maybe at a certain angle, at which suddenly the net magnetic field becomes what? 0. So these points are known as neutral points. So the question is, why we get these neutral points? A neutral point, first, what is a neutral point? A neutral point is a point at which the magnetic field is what? 0. In other words, at which the magnetic field is neutralized by the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field, right? So it's important us to locate the neutral points. First, to define what is a neutral point. Okay, a point opposite to magnetic field due to a magnet. Children, here actually defined what is a neutral point and how it is obtained. A point at which net magnetic field due to a magnet is 0 is called neutral point. How it is obtained? The criteria is a neutral point is obtained when horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field is equal and opposite to magnetic field of the magnet. Clear? So we will be trying to locate neutral points due to a bar magnet. Case 1, when north pole of a magnet is towards geographic north. Children, we are going to find out, this is very interesting. We are going to find out neutral point due to a bar magnet when north pole of the bar magnet is towards geographic north. Let's try to understand the meaning. Suppose this is geographic north. I'll call it NG, north geographic. Then obviously this is south geographic. And then I place the magnet here like this. I want to locate the neutral points where the north pole of the magnet is pointing towards geographic north. So obviously south pole of the magnet is pointing towards what? Geographic south. Clear? Now let's understand this. If north pole of the magnet is pointing towards what? North, then we know that Earth's magnetic field is such that the south pole of Earth's magnetic field is pointing towards north. So you can imagine something like this. Something like this. It's only hypothetical. This is south magnetic of Earth and this is north magnetic of Earth. Clear? Now I want to look at the points at which the magnetic field due to the bar magnet could be possibly zero. Let's take this equatorial line. Let's take a point out here. At a certain distance r from the center of the magnet along the axis. We have already done magnetic field to a bar magnet at a point on the equatorial line or along perpendicular bisector. We know that this is the magnetic field to the bar magnet B. So you can see direction of the magnetic field to the bar magnet at any point on the equatorial line is parallel to the axis of what? Magnet, and is directed from north to south. So see the situation. The magnetic field to Earth's magnetic field is directed from north to south, and this field is exactly opposite to the what? Field which is being produced by the bar magnet at any point on the equatorial line. So suppose this is BH, right? I'll rub this because you have got the idea about direction of Earth's magnetic field. Suppose this point is P. At this point P, if B is equal to BH, you can see direction of both is what? Opposite. Then magnetic field will be what? 0. And at point P I will be having no magnetic field. Similarly, if I take a point out here, Q, on the other side of the equatorial line, then again this is B magnetic field to the magnet and this is magnetic field to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. In both of these points, if B is equal to BH, then these points will act as what points? Neutral points. So it should be remembered, very important point here, that if a magnet is placed with its north pole facing towards geographic north, then the neutral points will only come along the what? Along equatorial line or perpendicular bisector. So in this case, neutral points are located. So children, for neutral points, when north pole is facing towards north, in the equatorial position, we can calculate distance. B equals to BH. We know B is mu naught by 4 pi m by r cube is equal to BH, and from here you can calculate how much is r. This is the first case. Now I will be seeing the case where south pole of the magnet is towards geographic north. Okay? Case 2. Now children, in this case, if I take any 2 points P and Q on the axial line, then we know that Earth's magnetic field, let's see the direction. This is geographic north, this is geographic what? South. North geographic, south geographic. But you know, suppose I take a point out here. So the magnetic field at this point and this point will be opposite to the what? This is south magnetic, north magnetic, and this will be south magnetic. Now you can see this will be direction of magnetic field at this point B, this will be BH, let is south magnetic, and this will be magnetic field to the what? Bar magnet. Both the fields are directed in what? Opposite direction at points on the axial line. And in the event where B is equal to BH, then net magnetic field will be 0. So we can always locate 2 points P and Q on the axial line where we will be getting neutral points. In this case we had points on the what? Equatorial line. In this case we will have points on the what? Axial line. Once you understand the direction, then I will rub this. So it should be remembered, when you place a magnet with south pole facing to geographic north, then the neutral points will come at the what? On the axial points. So suppose a neutral point comes here at distance r from the center. Then at this point, here we will say neutral points are now children, this is the condition that magnetic field to the bar magnet will be equal to horizontal component of its magnetic field. We put value of B, V naught for a short bar magnet as you have already done, V naught by 4 pi 2m by r cube is equal to BH, and we can calculate R. So remember, if the north pole is facing towards north, then the neutral points will come on the perpendicular bisector, and if the south pole is facing towards north, the neutral points will come on the axial points, and the value of R can be easily calculated like this. Okay, so this is all in this video. Go through this in detail. Okay.